Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? Hey, let me call you back, man.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hi. So I have this stain, and I heard you're the guy.
Say no more. Valley Dry Cleaning's got you covered.
Is on the radio. The Imperial Valley's AM1230 KXO El Centro, California. Good days, sunshine. It's another beautiful day in the valley. Yeah, crisp, clear. Yeah, I love these days. But then I have a sweater. That helps. You know, the folks who run the Oscars are trying to figure out why Sunday's show had record low TV ratings. I'll tell you why. Because people have lost interest in award shows. And you may not be aware, but I have an award for most colorful language while trying to separate two shopping carts at the El Centro Walmart store. Yeah, but does anybody really care? No.
I don't.
No. Oh, well.
Yeah,
you
I
ever
don't
fought
care.
with shopping carts like that, Gene?
No, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. It's a challenge.
Well, that makes life interesting.
Yes.
Shopping cart, heartburn, I guess. Is that what you're saying? Gives
Yes.
you heartburn?
Ah, well. Today is Lost Penny Day. Yeah. If you lost it, maybe I found it. I don't know.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And it's also Plum Pudding Day.
So was it plum pudding? Heard of that my whole life. I can't remember if I've eaten it or not. It sounds like it would be really good.
Well, it sounds like it might be, but, okay, the British have a strange way of calling really inedible concoctions pudding.
Yeah, well, you just gave George Jones a chuckle right now. He's listening, and he's originally from England, so we should ask him about plum pudding.
Yes.
He may have already fell out of his chair this morning. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, and people make fun of British food, but yeah, they should.
George made fun of British food.
You know, I think the best thing that they've ever done is fish and chips.
Oh, yeah, and that's good.
Yes.
They put that malted vinegar on there. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. And you know, along the same vein, KFC is testing plant-based fried chicken. Well, then it's not fried chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to be different, they're going to be saying it's thumb-licking good.
Yeah.
Yes.
They ought to name a place that. Or their sales mark should be finger licking good.
Yeah, I get a kick out of, you know, okay, CBD right now it's the cure-all, do-all for everything, right?
I like that. Cure-all,
Everybody says,
do-all.
oh, it's the greatest thing, you know, since I started taking it, my lumbago doesn't bother me anymore. Right?
Yes.
And I mean, it's infused in things for your dogs and cats and for people, and it'll fade away. And I think the plant-based, you know, foods, they're going to find, oh, wait a minute, there's carcinogens, and oh, there's all sorts of problems here, and oh, by the way, you know, you got to grow the plant-based stuff, and it takes water, and oh, yeah, where's the water? Yeah, all sorts of problems are going to come up.
Absolutely.
Yes, always does. I'm still trying to figure out, you remember, what, about 20 years ago? Jojoba beans were the answer to everything, right?
Absolutely. There are jojoba beans all over the Welton area, over in Dateland.
Growing wild because there was no market.
Yeah, thousands of acres.
Yes.
And the thing is, they really did work.
Yes.
It just never was economical to harvest them. But they're tough, boy. If you can live out there after the irrigation water that they had to pump was shut off, They're still, some of them are still alive.
Still doing well.
Yeah.
How well. Speaking of doing well, how about some big shot birthdays?
How about?
Actor Joe Don Baker is 84. Wasn't he in Walking Tall?
I don't remember. Walking Tall, I remember that series, but...
Yeah. And country singer Mo Bandy is 76. Actress Maude Adams, she was one of the original Bond girls. She's 75. Actor Cliff DeYoung, 74. Actor Michael Ironside is 70. Steve Hackett of Genesis, 70. Singer Michael McDonald of the Doobies, and so many other great things. He's back with the Doobies. He's 68.
You know, I don't think he ever really left. He,
No.
as their lead vocalist and keyboard player, he did just a lot of solo stuff.
Yes.
Because he was their main songwriter.
Actress Joanna Kern, 67. Actor Zach Greiner is 66. Arsenio Hall, 64. Actor John Michael Higgins is 57. Actor Raphael Sbarge is 56. Actor Josh Brolin is 52. And let's see, actor Jesse Spencer, 41. Actress Sarah Lancaster is 40. Actress Christina Ricci is 40. Actress Jennifer Stone, 27. Actress Bailey and Riley Craigett, they're 10.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Say that pronunciation of Lancaster again.
Well, okay. On the west side of the country, it's Lancaster. In the east is Lancaster.
Yeah. Okay. You got that translation for me.
Yeah, my family originally settled in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
And then they moved to Lancaster later on. I got it.
Oh,
Got it.
We've got local birthdays.
Coming up.
Happy birthday. We've got our KXO birthdays. Adriana Esparza, Mary Kelly De Leon, Alexis Justman, Denise Franco, Ana Vasquez, Sarah Fernandez, Irma Picasso, Chaco Conriquez, Christy Hartfield, Jessica Romero, Diego Ramos, Karen Larson, Stacy Otero, Josie Barrelzela, Michael Everhard, Pablo Perez, Norma Gonzalez, Mary Lou Diaz, Mark Marshall, Maria Elena Mendoza, Linda Baker, Karen Johnson, Juanito Perez, Jesse Suarez, Cesar Reyes. Happy birthday and happy anniversary, Ruthie and Ed Snively. Okay. And a special anniversary for Ruthie and Ed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else exciting going on?
Well, we've made it to the beginning of Hump Day. That's an accomplishment very important every week.
Yes.
And that you make it through Hump Day until Thursday.
Yeah. I figure I pretty much got the day under control when I get up and out of bed.
Boy, you are being misled.
Yeah, I mean,
you have the day.
That's the hardest part of the day usually.
First getting up in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not tripping over Lucky.
Yeah, Lucky has a tendency to get under the feet.
No, Lucky sleeps on the floor right beside me, on the floor right next to the bed beside me.
I thought
that's the way he was trained.
You were going to tell me that you slept on the floor right next to Lucky.
No, he wouldn't tolerate that.
Man's best friend.
You got it. Okay, we've got news if you're ready.
We do.
World and California news headlines right now brought to you by Lock Air Conditioning, your year-round comfort specialist. For sales, for service, call the experts. Lock Air Conditioning.
CBS News special report. Bernie Sanders is savoring victory in the New Hampshire primary.
The reason I believe we are going to win is that we have an unprecedented grassroots movement.
He got 26% of the vote. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns.
Question how he expands his base of support, because when you look at the numbers that he got last night, and then you add up the numbers that Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg were gathering, the more moderate wing seems to have a little bit more support when you look at those numbers.
Buttigieg scored 24% support for a second-place finish.
We go forward fueled by hundreds of thousands of grassroots supporters.
Klobuchar came in in third with 19%. Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden were fourth and fifth, respectively, each in the single digits. Andrew Yang and Michael Bennet have dropped out of the race. Deval Patrick has signaled he will do the same. CBS News Special Report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
No matter how cold it is outside, you can keep warm and toasty inside with a quality-built, super-efficient York furnace. Affordable, quiet, and reliable, you can count on a furnace from York because it's backed by the strongest warranties available. It's just another way we install confidence. Call Lock Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 760-353-4501 to learn how you can move up to a new level of comfort and efficiency this season. That's 353-4501. Contractor license 696-216.
California headline news: end of a 2-week quarantine at March Air Force Base in Riverside County. Nearly 200 Americans evacuated from Wuhan, China, the center of the coronavirus outbreak, allowed to go free.
Today, as we took off our masks, and we're given a clean bill of health. We all realized that we had gone through this experience together.
Jamie Faust, the American Wuhan Consul General, who was among those quarantined, none of the evacuees developing any virus symptoms. A member of the St. Louis Blues hockey team collapses during the first period of their game against the Ducks in Anaheim. Jay Bomeister suffering an apparent cardiac event. Blues broadcaster Darren Pang.
Not surprised that this team is staying right here and with one of their most popular players and the guy that's been around for a long time and in one of the best shapes I've ever seen an athlete be in is Jay Bomeister. So our hearts and prayers are for him and his family.
Bomeister reportedly in stable condition at a local hospital. The game was postponed. Jeff Scott, California News.
World and California News headlines brought to you this morning by Lock Air Conditioning. For all your air conditioning and heating needs, it's Lock Air Conditioning and custom sheet metal.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, a lot of questions run through your mind.
What am I going to do?
What are my options?
What did I do wrong?
We've had those thoughts too, but some questions can help you move forward.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com for an interactive guide to help you learn the next steps to take after an MBC diagnosis.
And how to ask the questions that lead to an open and informed conversation with your doctor. Start finding your voice today
at findyourmbcvoice.com.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, wah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while the choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's page one of the local news. Page one is service of Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers with 2 locations in the valley. In the Brawley Auto Center, Highway 86 and Julia Drive, and on Imperial Avenue next to Food for Less in El Centro.
Taking a look at the latest in local news for a Wednesday morning, a local judge has found that the Imperial Irrigation District is not in contempt of his earlier ruling. Imperial County Superior Court Judge Brooks Anderholt issued the ruling after Imperial Valley farmer Michael Abadi claimed the IID violated the judge's earlier ruling that the district could not provide any new water to any lower priority water user during times of shortage until after the higher priority users received their full allotment when the IID agreed to provide water to the Heber geothermal operation, an existing water user. The judge found the Imperial Irrigation District is not guilty of contempt of court. Desert Regional Medical Center has agreed to pay $1.41 million to resolve allegations that they knowingly violated the False Claims Act. The Palm Springs Hospital, affiliated with Tenet Healthcare Corporation, was alleged to have knowingly implanted unnecessary cardiac monitors, often called loop recorders. This according to the U.S. Department of Justice. The settlement resolves allegations filed in a lawsuit by former Desert Regional Medical Center employee Michael Grace. As part of the settlement, Grace will receive over $240,000. According to the Justice Department, the claims resolved by the settlement are allegations only, and there has been no determination of liability. KXO News Time 7:43.
It's Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers with 2 locations in the Valley, on Imperial Avenue next to Food for Less in El Centro, and in the Brawley Auto Plaza, Highway 86 and Julia Drive. Quick Lane services all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment. They're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. And Quick Lane has the best prices on name brand tires, guaranteed. Just ask your Quick Lane advisor for details. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers in Brawley and El Centro.
Continuing with other local news, 3 people died Monday after being lost in the mountains of eastern San Diego County. According to the U.S. Border Patrol, the 3 were in a group of 5 that had crossed the U.S.-Mexican border near the Guayapape Indian Reservation. Border Patrol agents received the call at about 2:15 p.m. Monday that the group of 5 were in need of immediate medical attention. Agents, including the BORSTAR, or Border Search, Trauma, and Rescue Team, responded immediately to the very rugged and remote area of the Laguna Mountains. 2 men from the group were located, and they told agents that 3 women in the group were in desperate need of help. At about 5:06 p.m., with the aid of an air and marine operations helicopter, agents were able to locate the women. 2 of those women were unresponsive with no signs of life. The 3rd woman was lapsing in and out of consciousness when agents arrived, but succumbed to her injuries. Due to extreme weather conditions that included rain, fog, high winds, and extreme cold, rescue efforts were hampered, and attempts to hoist the victims to a helicopter were not possible. The 2 men, ages 22 and 37 years of age, were taken into custody. San Diego Sector Chief Border Patrol Agent Aaron Hetke said, "I'm proud of the heroic efforts that these agents and our partners made to locate and provide aid to those in need. Our agents also put their own lives at risk, traversing the dangerous area these criminal organizations smuggle people through in an attempt to avoid apprehension." That concludes this edition of Local News. Page 2 coming up.
Page 1 of the local news, a service of Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers in Brawley and El Centro. Quick Lane, they service all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment. We've been telling you about the peanut patch for a long time, and I would suggest you visit the peanut patch in Yuma. You will be amazed. Oh, such great people. Yeah, friendly, smiling, and, well, take time to show you some interesting things like fudge. 80-plus handmade, melt-in-your-mouth flavors of fudge. Yeah, and also they have raw, salted, roasted, blanched in the shell, out-of-the-shell peanuts, America's favorite snack. Perfect place for a Valentine's Day gift. They've got homemade chocolates, brittles, butters, homemade fudges, all sorts of great things. Perfect for gifting. It's the Peanut Patch in Yuma. Page 2 of the local news and weather, brought to you this morning by David H. West Insurance Services. See David or Jose for life insurance, health insurance, or retirement planning.
Novel coronavirus testing. It begins today. The California Department of Public Health has announced the testing. 16 laboratories around the state will soon be able to perform testing for the novel coronavirus. They say the service will provide more rapid results than currently available and help to inform public health action and medical care for people who may have been exposed to the coronavirus. Results from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention currently take between 2 to 7 days. The Public Health Department lab anticipates it will be able to conduct testing beginning today and report results within 2 days of specimen receipt. The state says their local partners are also expected to be able to conduct tests within a couple of weeks. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol actions on the southwest border in January of 2020 decreased by 20%. Acting CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan announced that January's 10% decrease represents a nearly 75% decrease since May of 2019. CBP conducted over 36,000 total enforcement actions in January, including 29,200 apprehensions and approximately 7,500 inadmissibly decisions. The overall number of nationwide enforcement actions was also 37% lower than in January of last year. CBP also announced the seizures over 50,000 pounds of drugs on the southwest border. Well, the second in a series of political candidate forums was held last night, and KXO Public Affairs Department was there. The candidates for the Imperial County Board of Supervisors District 2 were featured last night, and the forum is available on the KXO YouTube channel and on our website, KXORadio.com. The third forum will feature candidates for the IID Division 4 and will be held February 25th at the Calexico City Council Chambers. The forum is sponsored by CoLab and the Imperial Valley Vegetable Growers Association. We'll be back with a look at the weather.
David H. West Insurance has been helping residents in Imperial Valley for many years with their insurance needs. David, Jose, and staff are trained professionals who can help you make the right decision with your insurance coverage, from health, Medicare, and most importantly, a life insurance plan. How much life insurance do you need and what's your monthly cost? We'll call David H. West Insurance today to make an appointment and get a free quote on a life insurance plan that's right for you and your family at 760-352-3411. That's 352-3411.
Here's Carroll Buckley with the weather update.
Well, the National Weather Service says expect dry conditions with a gradual warming trend through the weekend. A low-pressure system moving through the western states early next week will lead to another cooling trend. 68 the high yesterday, 42 the low. It'll be sunny today with a high near 71, light winds. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 40, southeast wind about 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 70 and light winds. 43 degrees downtown, 65% relative humidity, wind out of the southwest at 3 to 5 miles per hour. And a border wait, 2 hours, 45 minutes downtown. No waiting sentry, an hour and 30 minutes pedestrian. Eastport, about a 45-minute wait, no waiting sentry, 35 minutes at the ready lane. Page 2 of the local news and the weather brought to you by David H. West Insurance Services. See David or Jose for health insurance plan and Medicare supplemental coverage.
Dad, we're hungry.
Siri, restaurants nearby.
Here are some options.
I want some chipotle fries.
And I want an Imperial Thick Burger.
But I want a salad.
Okay, I just want a juicy burger and an ice-cold beer. And I don't want to miss the game.
Everyone quiet, please. I have the place. Burgers and beer. Great food. Ice cold beer, and you can watch your favorite game.
Burgers and Beer has something delicious for everyone. Burgers and Beer. The best burgers in town.
You're welcome.
It's sports time, brought to you by the Imperial Hardware Company, Brawley, El Centro, and Holtville. Imperial's Do-It Centers is where you will find what you need when you need it. NBA action, 76ers clipped the Clippers, 110-103. Wizards whipped the Bulls, 126-114. Pelicans pounded the Trailblazers, 138-117. Spurs topped the Thunder, 114-106. And the Rockets rolled. They beat the Celtics, 116-105.
Planning a home improvement project? Let your friends at Imperial Hardware Company lend a hand. Our do-it centers provide the sweet spot between convenience and selection, combining the value and variety of a big box with the ease of visiting a neighborhood market. Our helpful and courteous staff will get you outfitted for any task in no time. Imperial Hardware Company is locally owned and family operated, proudly serving this community for over a century. We carry only the best products and top name brands. Visit us in Brawley, El Centro, and Holtfield to find what you need when you need it. Get it done with a little help from Imperial Hardware Company. Don't forget, we serve local businesses too. Ask us about our commercial accounts for contractors, property managers, handy workers, agribusiness, and more.
In other news, the NFL has reinstated Myles Garrett from his indefinite suspension. Garrett suspended after, he slugged somebody with a helmet. Yeah, that's assault with a deadly weapon. Oh, that's right. He plays for the Browns. Nothing serious there. And Michigan State has hired Mel Tucker. Tucker had just said, hey, I'm going to stay in Colorado. He'd only been with the Buffaloes 1 year when he jumped for the paycheck. The San Diego State Aztecs, they may be number 4 in the AP and the coaches poll, but they're number 1 in your hearts. Yeah, the best team nobody on the East Coast has ever seen play. Well, the Aztecs men's basketball team with another win last night, 25-0 on the season. That's it for Sports Time. Sports Time brought to you by the Imperial Hardware Company Do-It Centers in El Centro, Holtville, and Brawley. Get it done with a little help from Imperial Hardware Company.
Since 1901, Imperial Printers Rocket Copy has provided the finest printing and copying services from start to finish. When you choose Imperial Printers Rocket Copy, you can feel confident in our expertise and personal attention to your project. We have a team of professional graphic designers ready to take your ideas and make them a reality. From promotional merchandise, full-color brochures, blueprints, and high-speed copies to business forms and everything else in between, Imperial Printers Rocket Copy offers dependable and affordable quality printing. Thank you for choosing locally owned and operated Imperial Printers Rocket Copy. We have convenient locations near you at 430 West Main Street and 100 South 11th Street in El Centro and 184 South Plaza in Brawley.
Financial news and weather brought to you by Styles and Smiles Complete Salon Services. You can call for an appointment or you can walk in. Styles and Smiles on Imperial Avenue right by Cardenas Market in El Centro. U.S. stocks moving solidly higher early today. The S&P 500 and Dow hitting all-time highs, buoyed by signs of a slowdown in the number of new cases of coronavirus, a novel strain of coronavirus that reportedly originated in Wuhan, China late last year. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 215 points at 29,491. The S&P 500 added about 15 points at 3373. And the NASDAQ Composite Index is up 40 points at 9,660. All three benchmarks are trading in record territory. Shares of ride-hailing company Lyft slid nearly 9% after it reported fiscal first quarter results following Tuesday's closing bell. Healthcare services company CVS Health Corp saw shares edge higher after it reported adjusted earnings and revenue that beat Wall Street estimates. Molson Coors Beverage Company earnings beat analyst expectations before the market opened today, sending shares up more than 5% in early trade.
It's a new year, and Styles and Smiles want you to look your best. But first, you need to make an appointment by calling 760-960-2382. That's 960-2382. Now, Styles and Smiles is a complete salon specializing hair, nails, cosmetics, and if it's time for a change, let Styles and Smiles transform your ordinary into extraordinary with their expert stylists. Bring the whole family because they do it all. Call now and make an appointment at 760-960-2382. That's 960-2382. Styles and Smiles, located by Cardenas Market in El Centro.
We'll have sunny skies today with a high near 71, light winds becoming east-southeast about 5 miles an hour this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 40. Southeast wind about 5 miles an hour. Mostly sunny on Thursday with a high near 70. Calm wind becoming northeast about 5 miles per hour. 44 degrees, 63% relative humidity. Financial news and weather brought to you by Styles and Smiles, here to help make you look your best. Styles and Smiles on Imperial Avenue by Cardenas Market.
How do you judge someone? Not by what they say, by what they do. We're a nation of doers. What's Mike Bloomberg about? Doing things. A middle-class kid worked his way through college, an entrepreneur. Bloomberg built a global news and information business from scratch. Mayor of a diverse, progressive city, Mike Bloomberg rebuilt after 9/11, creating nearly 500,000 jobs, improving health care and public schools. Now he's running for president, and Mike's the change we need. From chaos to steady leadership, from lies to someone who believes in facts and data, from divisiveness to someone who builds teams, nurtures good ideas, and holds himself accountable for results. Mike Bloomberg knows how to lead, to build, to deliver, to do. He'll win and unite this country. Mike will get things done.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, candidate for president, and I approve this message because we need to deliver on the promise of the American dream. Paid for by Mike Bloomberg 2020.
KXO El Centro, CBS News, brought to you by Julie Oliver with Dickey Insurance Services.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. South Carolina and Nevada are next battlegrounds for the Democratic presidential candidates now that the New Hampshire primary is in the books. Bernie Sanders supporters celebrated his narrow win over Pete Buttigieg. Sanders wants his message heard in Washington.
This victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys Anthony Salvato says the result is troubling for Joe Biden, who finished a distant fifth.
People who want more liberal policies are looking more at Bernie Sanders, but people who want to return to Obama-era policies, those folk have gone to Buttigieg and gone to Klobuchar. They have picked up some of what was Joe Biden's support.
New tweets from President Trump hail Attorney General Barr for getting involved in the Roger Stone sentencing. The Justice Department will lower the recommendation from its own prosecutors of 7 to 9 years for the Russia investigation figure. CBS's Jeff Pegues.
The Department of Justice says that they did not communicate with the White House on this issue, but, obviously with the tweet, that's something that you can't miss. And, of course, William Barr has faced a lot of criticism over the last year about whether he is doing the president's bidding.
China's president today promised tax cuts and other help for industries that have been shut down by the coronavirus outbreak. Keith Richburg of the University of Hong Kong says there are suspicions Beijing is still holding back information.
It's awfully hard to keep a lid on things like this for a while. The global community wants to know. The World Health Organization wants to know. This is no longer just a problem of China. It's a problem for the world.
New report out today on the prevalence of white supremacist propaganda in the U.S. We're live with CBS's Vicki Barker.
For the second straight year, incidents of white supremacist propaganda more than doubled in 2019. Here's why the Anti-Defamation League's Oren Siegel is worried.
This propaganda, in a sense, is a gateway into a broader, much more violent movement.
The ADL also noting white supremacists have begun using language sugarcoating racism as patriotism and empowerment. Steve?
Well, Pope Francis has ruled against ordained married men in South America's Amazon. CBS's Anna Matranga is in Rome.
Conservative factions in the church are quite happy with this decision, as they saw the possibility of ordaining married men in the Amazon as a slippery slope, allowing for exceptions not just in that region, but eventually anywhere else in the world where there might be a shortage of priests.
Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 200 points. NASDAQ is up 42. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
We know you've been planning for Valentine's Day for weeks. What, you haven't? Walgreens has you covered with everything you need to say Happy Valentine's Day in no time. Say I love you with the perfect Hallmark card. Say you're my sweetheart with sweet deals on candy. Or say BFFs forever with great classroom gifts. So head to a Walgreens only minutes away and get sweet gifts in a heartbeat. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Now with card through February 14th. Select fragrances are 20% off and select premium chocolates are 2 for $8.
Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Okay, time out. You're gonna let your budget be the boss of you? Take control with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay for car insurance, and we'll help you find options that fit your budget. Here's some music to get you pumped. Da-dong, 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 dang, dang. I hear your budget laughing at you. Oh, wait, that's just those kids laughing at me. Ignore them! Da-dong, da-dong.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
2 Ohio State football players have been charged with rape. Columbus police say it stems from an alleged incident earlier this month at an apartment. The complaint indicates the victim was forced by the two 21-year-olds to say on video that it was consensual. Major search going on near Columbia, South Carolina for a missing girl.
6-year-old Faye Swetlick was last seen playing in the front yard of her home after getting off a school bus Monday afternoon. Ruth Collins is her grandmother.
We're worried, of course, very distraught, but we're only thinking positive thoughts. We have to keep thinking that they're going to find her.
Hundreds, including FBI agents, are searching for the little girl. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Casey, South Carolina.
Honda's recalling more than 240,000 late-model Odyssey minivans to fix a wiring issue in a rear power outlet that could cause a fire. The company says it does have reports of 3 fires, but no injuries. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Oil and gas investments involve a high degree of risk and are suitable only for qualified SEC-accredited investors. With escalating tensions in the Middle East and the U.S. global economy experiencing record growth, the demand for oil continues to soar. If you're an accredited investor and a high-income earner who can invest at least $100,000, you too can take advantage of these rising oil prices and a 100% tax deduction for 2020. It's time to sell your stocks and turn your market profits into tax savings for the 2020 tax year with income. Call Encore now and learn how you can deduct 100% of your investment and create 20 or more years of potential monthly income. Encore Energy is drilling in an area that's potentially one of the most prolific oil plays in the eastern U.S. Invest in oil and create big tax write-offs for this year. Call 800-423-1685. If you're a high net worth SEC accredited investor who desires to participate directly with a proven operator, then call Encore Energy. Call now. 800-423-1685. That's 800-423-1685.
Hi, this is Julie Oliver. As your local Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something I take well personally. I am committed to learning about your needs and personalizing protection to meet them. From bundling your auto, home, and life insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, I can build an insurance proposal that fits your life. Are you in good hands? Contact me, Julie Oliver, today for a free quote at 760-353-5800. That's 353-5800.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Life insurance offered through Allstate Life Insurance Company and Allstate Assurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois, and American Heritage Life Insurance Company, Jacksonville, Florida.
CBS News brought to you by Julie Oliver with Tiki Insurance Services, your Imperial Valley Allstate agent. For home, life, or auto insurance, call Julie Oliver today.
And now, more of the best oldies on the radio.
Present to you with this year's Choice YouTuber Award,
Carroll Buckley.
Prepare to get rocked.
That was unbelievable. AM 1230 KXO. 1230
The Public Affairs Department of KXO Radio keeps you informed with recorded podcast coverage of the 2020 Candidates Forum for the Board of Supervisors District 2 race. The forum was recorded Tuesday evening, February 11th at the IID Auditorium in El Centro. Podcast coverage is underwritten by CoLab of Imperial County and the IV Veg Growers. We take you now to moderator David Cañas.
Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight's Imperial County Board of Supervisors Labor, Agriculture, and Business, or as we know it, COLAB. This is the forum for the election on March 3rd, 2020 for the Imperial County Board of Supervisors, District 2. With only 2 candidates, the one with the most votes will be declared the elected supervisor. My name is David Cañas, and I will be the moderator this evening. My timekeeper across from me is Ms. Maggie Magallanes. As a trade association, we decided to make a concerted effort to educate our members of the candidates for office in order to provide them with the best possible information with which to make their personal decision in this elected process. I would like to recognize the candidates for office in attendance this evening. For County Supervisor, District 2, Ms. Claudia Camarenas, Mr. Luis Plancarte. The format for this evening's forum is as follows. Each candidate will have 3 minutes for an opening statement to review their qualifications, thoughts, and major platform items. There will be 3 questions asked by myself, the moderator, pertaining to the issues for each of the elected office. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for a closing statement. Myself, the moderator, and my timekeeper will hold the candidates to allotted time periods by utilizing a timer, which is sitting across from me, with a card system, or we're using lights. The light signal will show the amount of time left. When it goes green, there's 30 seconds left. When it goes yellow, there's 10 seconds. The red light will come on right at 2 minutes, and that will show that the time has expired. I will use just my time. I don't have a gavel, and we'll cut the candidate off within 5 seconds to save on time. Questions from the audience will be asked as time permits at the end of the forum and prior to the closing statements. The forms for the questions are in the back room, those of you that have not seen them. Once you complete your written questions, please provide them to Ms. Kate Pricola. The question must be directly related to the responsibilities of the IID Board of Directors, responsibility of the Board of Supervisors, or the experience of the candidate. No personal text will be allowed. So thank you for being here tonight. And we will start with Ms. Cárdenas, or Camarena, I'm sorry. And your opening statement, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Claudia Camarena, candidate for Board of Supervisor District 2. I'd like to begin with my experience. I am a retired county program manager. My career with the county began in 1989 and spanned through March of 2019 when I retired as a member of management. I supervised and managed federal, state, and local programs, ensuring that all mandates were met and that there were no cuts regarding not being able to meet performance improvement plans and so forth. My expertise lies in assessment, reorganization and consolidation of positions and department sections for cost-saving purposes. I represented Imperial County for 7 years in Sacramento as a subject matter expert, alongside analysts and advocates. I manage the Special Investigations Unit in the Social Services for welfare fraud, and have been a part of the Homeless Task Force, Continuum of Care, and a youth leader in my church. I'd like to start by stating some of the information that was missing during the State of the County address last week. And that was the over $20 million that we are in debt as of December 2019. It's very difficult for me to see Director of Child Support Services given a $2,000 a month increase, while our public safety officers have been continuously requesting pay raises and so forth for the life-threatening activities that they perform. I'd also like to state that it failed to directly address the homelessness in our county. I know that Mr. Pancarte did state during the Ivy Press that he was happy that we were having affordable housing and that the border gets longer and longer to cross. However, that housing is for residents of Imperial County and not Mexico. It also failed to identify how the county is violating the county ordinance by hiring individuals in Mexico who reside in Mexico instead of qualified county residents. And that is something that we need to look at because that is continuing to affect our poverty rates. it's very important that the individual who holds this position has a working knowledge of how the county functions. It's obvious at this time that is lacking at this moment. We need to be able to go in and make the hard decisions and not continue to approve pay raises for individuals that are being compared to Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino County. CEO's office salaries right now are close to $1 million alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. Mr. Plancarte, 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Number one, I want to welcome everybody who came out this evening. It is very encouraging always to see when the community is involved and interested in what's going on. My name is Luis Plancarte. I currently serve as supervisor for District 2, and I also serve as the chairman of the board. A little bit about personal history. My wife, Martha, my children, we live here in El Centro. We've lived in the boundaries of District 2, which is a district I represent, for close to 30 years now. We've dedicated our time to raising family and to working in our community. I've been committed to serving our community for almost 40 years now, going back to my youth. You know, it's something that was instilled in me by my parents. And today, 40 years later, I continue to serve as an elected supervisor. I serve in my church and various community building organizations. I hold a bachelor's degree in business management and different certifications in human resources, adult education, emotional intelligence, personal development, as well as financial investment and retirement fund training. I am here because I want to continue to serve the people of Imperial County, specifically District 2, and because my commitment and dedication to progress continues. It will not stop. You know, I'm very lucky to work for a company which really allows all its employees to be involved in the community. Whether not only allows it, but they encourage it. Whether you want to coach Little League, or you want to serve on a board, or you want to participate in a cleanup, I'm very happy to say that I work for a company whose owners are mature enough to let the employees do that. I am here because I'm here to ask for your vote on March 3rd. And I want to continue to serve as your supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plancarte. We'll now start with the questions. The first one, and we'll start with Mr. Plancarte first. The question is, in recent months, the County of Imperial declared an emergency for Salton Sea and for the New River. The state of California has responded with a promise of $220 million to be included in bond on the November ballot for the Salton Sea 10-year management plan. While this, if approved by the voters in the state of California, will make whole the financial needs for the Salton Sea, real action is needed. Please state what you are prepared to support to address the Salton Sea. 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, as you know, yes, we voted unanimously to declare a state of health emergency on the Salton Sea. This in order to allow for the state of California to move faster. The idea came from here. For the last 30 years or so, everything that's been tried to be done in the Salton Sea has been slowed down because it's either being studied, it needs permits for environmental, wildlife, and so on, engineering. If we take a look at some of the fires that have happened around the state, in order to be able to rebuild faster and put some of those studies on a streamlined basis, the state of California has used the state of emergency. And it is for that reason that as a Board of Supervisors, we declared a state of emergency both in the Salton Sea and in the New River, which is where some of the affluents, some of the fluids are coming in to the Salton Sea as well. With that, our hope is that it will help to remove handcuffs or limitations from the state of California, and in reality, all the excuses that they have used of studies to not get the work done. But the work not only is being done at the state level. At the end of March, myself, along with county personnel, will be traveling to Washington, D.C., where we will go to the Capitol offices and we will meet one-on-one with the legislators and regulators to get them to commit those dollars, which should have been committed some time ago. Because the international border, the New River, is a federal issue as well, and we plan on tackling both. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. Ms. Camarena, would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
In recent months, the County of Imperial declared an emergency for the Salton Sea and for the New River. The state of California has responded with a promise of $220 million to be included in the bond on the November ballot for the Salton Sea 10-year management plan. While this, if approved by the voters in the state of California, will make whole the financial needs for the Salton Sea, real action is needed. Please state what you are prepared to support address the Salton Sea.
Okay, the first thing I would do is I would review the contract of our lobbyists. Currently, the lobbyists that we're paying on the federal and state level, along with our intergovernmental director here in the county, is over $25,000. And if they're not doing their job, then something needs to be reviewed there. Second thing that I would do is that I would definitely begin to look at the federal portions of the Salton Sea to ensure that the federal government is also seeing that they are to be held accountable and are also responsible, because there's the local government, there's part of the land that's state, and there is small parts that are federal. And unless we can get them on board to also show that responsibility belongs to them, we will not get anything else. Also, we have the water order that was approved regarding Salton Sea. I don't know where we're at this. I've been studying, but it says also that we're supposed to be having year after year some type of habitat and dust suppressions being conducted by the federal government, well, the state and the county, and I'd like to see where we're at regarding that. Those are things that a full-time, hands-on Board of Supervisor needs to be on board for, to be able to look, research, and be able to attend these meetings. Going to Washington based on the lobby contract I saw, it just guarantees a meeting with the person. It's something that's done every year. And this is something not out of the norm. You'll see that every year they go meet people that they can meet here in San Diego, which also contributes to waste of taxpayer dollars and our time. This is urgent. We need to get bold. I am not afraid to be able to bring out the facts, hold people accountable that are being paid high amounts of salary with no type of results being given, and if so, delayed results.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. Our next question, and we'll start with Mrs. Camarena first. The County of Imperial is approaching another budget cycle. Last year, the general fund budget was a struggle to budget. This year, the employees will receive another 2.2% increase. What are your recommendations to achieve a balanced fund for 2021? Ms. Camarena, 2 minutes.
As I stated in my opening statement, right now we are over $20 million in the red for that general fund. And me looking as much as I can and studying the budget as it is right now, there are numerous areas that need to be reviewed and taken away. We have allocated over $1 million extra for outside county council, when we already have a county council that was just reorged and given a raise. We have the CEO's office who continues to create positions that are equivalent to positions in Orange County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, and yet we do not have the cost of living that these counties have, nor do we have the population or responsibility that these counties have. So I would immediately begin to review salaries paid by the general fund, beginning in the CEO's office, for a consolidation of positions and be able to look to see where else we can draw funds. There are incentive monies in the DA's office that have not been touched for years, nor have they been drawn down. And those incentive monies are coming from disqualification hearings, from fraud, from other incentives that the state gives our county money to fund more positions, and this county has failed to respond to the county's request for more positions in the DA's office when they could easily assess these monies and be able to make a difference. But at this time, this budget is just, it's a smokescreen.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. Mr. Blancarte, the same question. Would you like to be repeated?
Could you please repeat it?
The County of Imperial is approaching another budget cycle. Last year, the general fund budget was a struggle to budget. This year, the employees will receive another 2.2% increase. What are your recommendations to achieve a balanced fund for 2021?
Thank you. Well, first, there's a lot of numbers being thrown around, and I would like all of you to visit the website called Transparent California. There you can look at the salary for every supervisor in the state of California, every CEO, every employee that is at that level. It is right there. You can run it by county, by job, and compare some of the figures that are being cited to you today. You'll find out that that is not the case. Number two, $20 million debt. You know, there are two parts to the county budget. There is the general fund, which we run general services with, and then there's the other fund, which the county basically serves as a contractor for social services, behavioral health, and other departments. Those are departments where we are doing the job for the person who pays for it, the department who pays for it. For that reason, we have to deliver the services the way that they wish and hire us to deliver it. When it comes to the general fund, that is where we use to pay some of the services while we get reimbursed. So yes, there will be times where you will see that there's a $20 million difference, but that is because the payment is on the way. At the end of the year, that balances. The employees receiving 2.2 pay, yes, they are, and they will receive a 2.2 pay increase next year and the following year. The cost of living continues to go up, and the only way that we can retain and attract a well-experienced and trained workforce is by paying them what they deserve. Do they get what people get in other counties? No. Also, county employees earn less than what you would be paid out in public, in a private employer, I should say. They are actually performing the job and putting in the hours at a discount. Transparent California, check the numbers for yourself, and that will show you where the numbers really are. Thank you.
We'll now go on to question number 3. County roads maintenance has started with the funding from the new state-imposed gas tax. Bridges, however, are failing with several closed. What do you see as a solution for this continuing and growing issue? Mr. Pancarte first. 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So as you know, California is one of 58 counties in the state. And as one of the counties, there was a time when all you had to do was tell the state, I want to build a road, and you would build that road, and the state was funding road construction left and right, bridges everywhere. As time went on and those dollars became no longer available, they stopped creating those roads or giving money for those roads. Imperial County ended up number 9th in the 58 counties with the highest amount of roads. But today we are 38 in the amount of money that we receive to maintain and service those roads. So it requires a lot of planning, a lot of critical thinking. Which roads are really being used and are needed, and which can have deferred maintenance. With the new tax that's coming in, we are creating plans throughout the community and doing priorities. Just last year in Heber, we paved about 3.6 miles of roads that had not been resurfaced or maintained since 1972 or so. There is a plan, there is a list by which we are working, and we will work little by little to improve transportation in our community, especially in those roads that are being used the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blancarte. Ms. Camarena, the same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
Yes, please.
County roads maintenance has started with the funding from the new state-imposed gas tax. Bridges, however, are failing with several closed. What do you see as a solution to this continuing and growing issue? 2 minutes.
I think that at this point, what I would do from the outside coming in, I would gather some individuals and so forth to see, first of all, to make sure that bridges and roads leading outside Imperial County are looked at first for safety purposes. In the event of a big emergency and so forth, we want to make sure that our roads, especially for people in the rural areas, are accessible and are able to maintain any type of emergency that goes through. And so basically what I would do is I would research which are the most in need and speak to individuals and go from there.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. That concludes our 3 questions today. We're now going to take some questions we have from the audience and some that were sent in to us. This first one is for Mrs. Camarena only. And it says, you were understood to say at the IVC candidate forum, equating the County of Imperial CEO salary to be the same as the County of Los Angeles CEO. The Los Angeles County CEO makes $628,333 to include benefits. The Imperial County CEO salary is about 62% less than that and 12% less than the former Imperial County CEO. Please advise your source of information and why you targeted this salary as part of your campaign. 2 minutes.
Okay. Yes, that was an article from 2016. And I did give the wrong number because it said at that point that the Imperial County CEO position was identified as the highest paid employee in the poorest county. And the actual numbers were $286,000 over, including benefits. And the next one that came in after that CEO position was the individual from San Francisco County. So that was from, and I did meet with the CEO to share that with him that next Monday. And I gave him the same information. And I'm looking for the article because I have it here. And I want to say it was the Capital resource, but I can provide that to anybody who would like to see it. It was documented. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. Our next question. The loan to Pacific Land from the Community Benefits Fund continues to be in the news. What is your position on future loans to help bring jobs here? And we'll start with Mr. Plancarte. 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So the loan program that Imperial County operates right now is primarily funded through development that is done by the solar power, the electrical generation industry, by which they contribute to money which can be used for economic development to try to create some jobs for those jobs that have been displaced by that farmland not being farmed for the next 20, 25 years, as long as those panels will be there. Originally, when the concept was done, and that was by my predecessors, they were trying to find a way to motivate or incentivize economic development. So they came up with a program by which they could make loans to industry coming into the county. As the loans were being made, some have been very successful. Some, like any lending institution or any lending organization, did not perform as expected. Pacific Land is one of those. It should note that Pacific Land did receive a loan for $2 million, but they put more than $15 million worth of collateral to secure that money, which is in receivership to do that today. But there are success stories such as the Brawley beef plant, One World Beef. That was a plant that had to close and as such lost about 900 employees, lost their jobs. With a loan, which they have been making payments on time, they continue to grow their workforce, they continue to hire people, and they continue to grow. Doc's Organics is another new business which received a loan. They are making their payments. The bowling alley is another one. So I can go on naming all different successfuls, but will sometimes fail. Yeah, sometimes they will take longer to collect the money. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plancarte. Ms. Camarena, same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
Yes, please.
The loan to Pacific Land from the Community Benefits Fund continues to be in the news. What is your position on future loans to help bring jobs here? 2 minutes.
Okay. I think that there should be maybe more individuals that have the knowledge as far as the being able to loan and what the percentage is of getting something back. I know that at this point, there's the number that he stated as being saying that it's secured. However, when I look at the reports in the newspaper and so forth, it says that we may not even get our money back because there's so many creditors in line before us. I would approach very cautiously. It's very vital to bring jobs. I understand that, but I believe also that a risk in this county, as poor as we are, needs to be taken. Those type of decisions need to be made very carefully.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. Our next question, this one is for Mr. Plancarte. Sir, you received financial support from the unions in 2016. Are you endorsed by them or receiving financial support this time?
So in 2016, I did receive endorsement from several unions, as it is the case again this time around. Now, do I receive any financial support from them? No, I do not. So let me start by saying that one of the unions that I have the support from is the Labor Council. Labor Council is an affiliation of about 135 union groups throughout Imperial and San Diego County. They are working families. There are the trades, the plumbers, electricians, construction workers, people very much, in many cases, like my parents, first generation monolingual immigrants who came to this country. I am also endorsed by the In-Home Health Supportive Services. This is about a group of about 5,000 employees in Imperial County who do home care to make sure that those people who are sick can stay and live in their homes through their sickness. I also received an endorsement from the Imperial Valley Social Justice Committee. This is the committee who recently put together the event at IVC. These are all organizations that are very involved. They do their homework. They have lots of members. And yes, they do support me. They endorse me. There is other labor organizations also involved, but I have not taken any money from them or any donations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is for Ms. Camarena. As a former county employee, were you a member of a union? Are you receiving financial support from any of the unions?
I was a member of a management bargaining unit. I participated on that and on the supervisor management bargaining unit with the county. And no, I'm not receiving any funding from any type of bargaining unit or anything.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. Our next question, this is for both candidates. Please explain your stance on the effort to bring the Certified Unified Program agencies under the management of the county. And we'll start with Mr. Plancarte. 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So this is known as the CUPA initiative. And right now, the way it works is there is a series of inspections, different inspections that have to be done at different businesses. The CUPA Certified Unified Program, what they did is they kind of bundle these groups and they have state inspectors doing these inspections at the businesses. These are businesses at which our county fire, our county health department, are already air district, are already doing inspections there on a regular basis. Part of the program is when somebody is not meeting the law and they are fined, that money is the money that comes in from the fines is supposed to be used for training businesses and educating them on what how they can be safer in their reporting. That was not happening. The money was just growing in the state coffers. So as a result, through the county, we are in the process of petitioning the state to allow our own entities here in Imperial County to do those inspections while they are already walking into these businesses and so that we can use any money from any fines that are that come about, so we can use those monies to train those businesses so that they continue to have safer environments where their employees can work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blancarte. Ms. Camarena, the same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, I just wanted to state that I'm not privy to a lot of the information at this time, but once reading it and so forth, I'm sure that I would make a decision that would be in the best interest of business owners and customers and the valley. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. That concludes all the questions we have for this evening. We're now going to go to the closing statements. You each have 2 minutes, and we'll start with Mr. Blancarte.
Thank you, sir. Well, you know, I am here because I wish to continue to serve for another term. Serving the needs of Imperial County residents, it's not easy. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of education, a lot of research. Sometimes at face value, some of the things look like they are easy to solve, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of collaboration, and it takes somebody who is able to walk in and do consensus building and ask those right questions instead of walking in and just accusing. No business can get done that way. You know, I put a lot of effort into my service. I probably put somewhere between 60 and 70 hours every week, and that includes Saturdays and Sundays and after hours and days like today. And I am here to ask for your vote so that I may continue to serve for another 4 years starting 2021. Once again, thank you for coming out. And after this event is over, I'd be happy to answer any individual questions you may have. Thank you, and vote Blancarte.
Thank you, Mr. Blancarte. Ms. Camarena, 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Okay, I'd like to thank everyone for the opportunity to speak this night. I'd also like to state that the information that I'm giving is all factual. It's all here on the budget report. The article, like I found it, it's called California Policy Center, published September 16, 2016, where it names it there. I do have the paperwork of the $2,000 raise that was given to the Director of Child Support Services for a position that does not need to be an attorney to hold, but yet she was given that pay. So what I wanted to say is that I'm not a person who comes out accusatory. I come out with the facts. And what people like to do is to not state the truth, to be honest. And why I'm running is because I'm being the voice of not only employees who have asked me to run again, but also residents who just cannot continue to live under these conditions while we have a certain number of individuals who are privy to extreme salaries and are not functioning in a way that's beneficial to our county. We need someone who knows how the county works, someone that can be there full time. I will be there full time, Monday through Friday, working Saturday, Sunday as well, and educate myself to ensure that every decision I make is for the best interest of our county. I also have stated that I cannot take a salary knowing that employees have not had a salary for 2.2 except that raise for I don't know how long. So I would donate 50 to 75% of my salary to nonprofit organizations and schools through that, if I'm elected my whole term, to ensure that everyone is getting the assistance that they need. And I want to make sure that we also assist in our farming. I think it's important to bring it back, preserve our land. Solar is taking it up, and I'm not seeing long-term jobs here. And that's why the union support Mr. Blancarte. So I want you to consider me, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Camarena. We wish to thank each of the candidates for your efforts tonight. Thank you to our audience for your participation. We ask that you please vote with your mail-in ballot or at the polls on March 3rd. And thank you so much, and good night.
You've been listening to the Board of Supervisors District 2 Candidates Forum. The forum was recorded Tuesday evening, February 11th at the IID Auditorium in El Centro. Podcast coverage is underwritten by CoLab of Imperial County and the Ivy Veg Growers. For the Public Affairs Department of KXO Radio, this is Jared Anchondo reporting.